everyone, it's Amanda from Loops and Love Crochet here, and I'm just working on this mosaic crochet design today, and I thought I would do a little tutorial to show you how the stitches for this mosaic crochet technique works, as well as how to make this design here. So this crochet pattern here is going to be the front panel of a pillowcase, and then I'll be doing something different for the back panel and then crocheting the two panels together. For this project, I'm using the We Crochet Shine yarn, and this is a worsted weight number 4 cotton yarn, and I'm also using a 4mm crochet hook. So for this mosaic crochet design here today, I've made this grid here to show how the stitches are going to be worked up and how the color changes are going to go. So in mosaic crochet, each row on the graph counts for 2 rows of single crochet. So like row 1 that goes all the way across, it's going to be 1 row across this way and then 1 row across back that way. So each row is kind of 2 rows on the pattern here. So these first 2 bottom rows that are the teal color, I made 4 rows. So 2 there and back rows of the teal color here. And then the same thing, these rows that have white, it's 1 row going there and 1 row going back for each one. So this is why this pattern, when you do a mosaic crochet pattern, it looks a little bit longer here, right? The little triangles, they look more elongated as they do on here. And that's just because it's a little bit taller, because each row is worked up on the grid, is worked up as 2 rows of single crochet on your crochet project. So that's different than tapestry crochet, where each box is 1 stitch and each row is 1 row in your project. So for the first section of this pattern here, I alternated this teal color and white. So you can see here, this part lines up with this, the teal color and the white, and then I alternated the gray color with the white for the second section. And now here at the top, I'm going to be alternating the white and the teal again. In mosaic crochet, you are normally alternating 2 different colors, and the texture is created by working what's called a mosaic double crochet, and that's going to go over top of the stitches from the previous row in order to create that overlay kind of effect here. And I'll show you what the back looks like. So you can see the back is more stripes. I haven't woven in any of my ends here, so forgive those. But the back is worked up more and looks more like stripes here, and you can see in the spots that I worked over with the mosaic double crochet here on the front, you can see the different texture here on the back, which is where the chain stitches are. So it can be a double-sided project. For this one, it's a pillowcase, so this will actually be on the inside of the pillow and not noticeable, but otherwise it also looks nice too. So if you're doing like a blanket in mosaic crochet, that works well too. All right, so let's get started working up the next part of this mosaic crochet pattern. So for this pattern, this will be this section here that I'm going to be working on here today, and it's going to be just a repeat of this section down here. So if you're just starting out on the pattern today, it's going to be worked up exactly the same as down here too. So I'll show you how it works up, and I'll give you some pointers, and then you can go ahead and try this crochet pattern on the blog, or you can also apply this technique to any sort of design or pattern that you're working on in mosaic crochet. Okay, so my next part of my pattern here is going to be this row of the teal color here up at the top. So I left off with the gray, and all of your color changes are going to be made at the end of the round. So I'm just going to flip this project back over here. And in my last stitch of the gray color, I'm going to be working the teal color in. So I'll just pick up my last single crochet stitch here. And in the last yarn over of my stitch, I'm going to be doing the color change. And as you can see, I already cut my yarn here, so that's why it's not attached to anything. And I didn't quite cut it maybe long enough. So I'm just doing the last yarn over, and I'm yarning over and pulling through with this teal color here. And then I'm going to pull the gray end tight. I'll chain one with my teal color. And then I'm going to turn my project. Okay, so now that I have the yarn all lined up here, after my flipping the project over, I'm ready to work these rows of the teal color. So this is the row, the bottom row right here, and it's going to be all the way there to the other end and all the way back to where I started on the front with the single crochet stitches with this teal color. So I just did my color change here, and as you can see in this project, I'm keeping the colors all attached here, so I have less ends to weave in. If I was making a blanket or something where this will be visible afterwards, I would be cutting my yarn and weaving it in and reattaching it each time I change colors. But because it's going to be a pillow project, I'll be crocheting around the outside of the edge when I crochet the two panels together, where I carry the colors up. That's not going to be noticeable on this project here. So I'm just going to start working the single crochet stitches, and I'm just going to also work over these yarn tails here. And it'll just be one normal single crochet stitch in each stitch across. So these ones are pretty easy here. Now I have seen mosaic crochet patterns where you're working in the back loop only, as well as ones where you're working in both loops. In this mosaic crochet pattern, we're working underneath both loops, which means we're going underneath both of the loops at the top of the stitch, not just in the back loop. So we'll just work all the way across in the single crochet color, or in the teal color, and then we'll turn our project and work the single crochet stitches all the way back. So I'll keep working this across, and then I'll show you when I get to the end when I work back on the other side. Okay, so I've worked that whole row of the teal color, and now to complete this row on the graph, I need to also work all the way back in these stitches. So I'm going to chain one on my project here and turn, and then I'll work all the way back along this row of teal here before we change colors to the white. So a chain one and a turn, and then we're just going to start working single crochet stitches all the way back across. So this is just two normal rows of single crochet stitches. In the next row, when we start working the white, I'll show you how those stitches go to create that mosaic effect. Okay, so here we are all the way back at the other end. I just have to do my color change. That'll be in the last single crochet stitch of the row, and then we'll flip it over, and then we'll start working on the row of white. So I'm just going to drop my teal yarn, pull up my white that's attached. And as I said earlier, you can also, as an alternative, you can also cut and reattach your yarn each time. I'm just going to pull the teal one nice and tight, chain one with the white, and then I'm going to turn my project here. All right, so for this next row here of this graph, we're going to work the stitches in white here as single crochet stitches, and the spots where you can see a different color here. So it goes like one stitch of the white and then two of the teal. For the two teal stitches, we're going to be putting some chain stitches in white there, because that's where the mosaic stitches are going to go in the next row after that. So once we work the next teal row, where you see two teal stitches stacking on top of each other, that's going to be where that mosaic double crochet stitches that works over top of the other stitches. So here we'll start with one single crochet in white, and then we're going to chain for these two blue stitches here, or two teal stitches, and then we're going to work our 9 white single crochet stitches, and then we'll do the chains for these stitches here, and then one single crochet in white, and then the chain stitches again. And when we're doing the chains in between, where the color changes are going to be, the chain stitches, you're always going to chain one stitch more than the number of stitches you're skipping. So I'll show you what that looks like here. Okay, so first I'll start with my 1 single crochet in white. And then for the next 2 stitches here that are the teal color, that's where these mosaic double crochet stitches are going to be working over. So when you see the 2 colors, the teal color stacked on top of each other here, that's where that long or double crochet is going to be, the mosaic double crochet. So there's going to be 2 of those. So to make up for that, we're going to be skipping 2 stitches where those double crochet stitches are going to go, and we're going to chain 3 stitches, and we're chaining 3, 1 for each of the stitches that we're skipping, plus 1 extra one just to create, to stop our project from pulling in, to kind of make sure we keep it at the width that it should be, not pulling it in tighter with any of our stitches. So I've chained those 3 stitches. So in mosaic crochet, you normally will chain 1 extra chain than the number of stitches that you're skipping. So I'm going to skip 2 stitches, and then I'm going to work the 9 single crochet stitches in white. And we're just working these under both loops. We're not working in the back loop only, but that is also an option in mosaic crochet. Okay, so we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Oops, I did 1 extra. There we go. So now we're going to be skipping 2 stitches again, and then 1 single crochet in white, and then skip 2 stitches again, and then the 9 single crochet in white. So to skip those 2 stitches, I'm going to chain 2 for those 2 stitches I'm skipping, plus 1 extra chain. Skip 2 stitches, and then I'll be doing the 1 single crochet. Skip the next 2 stitches. I'm going to do that chain again, 1 for each stitch I'm skipping, plus 1 extra. And then I'll work those 9 single crochet stitches again. So that's what you're going to do all the way across this round, or this row here. Okay, so this is what the row looks like here when it's all finished. So you can see where all my chains are, where I skipped the stitches, where the mosaic double crochet stitches are going to go. So now I'm just going to chain 1 and turn my project. And now working back here, because each row on the graph here means 2 rows of the crochet pattern. We're going to work all the way back from this side all the way back to the start of the row, copying the exact same thing we did. So we're going to do 1 single crochet, and then we're going to do the chain stitches to skip these 2 blue stitches. Then we're going to work the 9 single crochet stitches, and then we're going to skip these 2 blue stitches again with the chain stitches all the way back here to the start before we switch to the next color. And this one should be a little bit easier here, because you're just going to work a single crochet where you worked a single crochet from the previous row, and then you'll work chain stitches where the chain stitches line up from the other row too. So we'll start with a single crochet in the first stitch, and then here are the 3 chain stitches. So we're going to chain 3, and then we'll work those 9 single crochet stitches just in the top of the single crochet stitches from the last round. And that's how we're going to work all the way across. So single crochet where you single crocheted from the previous row, and then chain stitches in the chain stitches from the previous row. So here's my next chain here, and then I'll do the 1 single crochet, and then the 3 chain stitches, and then start working the single crochet stitches again. So we'll repeat that all the way across, and then I'll meet you back at the other end here, and I'll show you how to work that color change, and then how the next row of the teal blue color is going to go. Okay, so here we are at the last stitch here, the last single crochet, and we're going to be switching to the teal color with this last stitch. So I'll work the single crochet right up to the last yarn over, dropping the white yarn, picking up the teal color, yarning over and pulling through there. And then I'm going to chain one and flip my project over. Okay, and that white will just stay attached there because we're going to pull that up again in the next round there. So for this row here, this is where the mosaic part comes in. We're going to be working single crochet in each of the stitches across, except for where you can see the two blue stitches stacked on top of each other. That's where you're going to work the mosaic double crochet into the round below. And that's going to line up going over top of those chain stitches that we did. So to start here, I'm going to work that first stitch, which was a single crochet. And then right away here we have the two skipped stitches and we have those chain stitches. So there we're going to yarn over, insert your hook into the stitch that we skipped here. Now we're going to be yarning over in front of the project. So we're not going to stick our hook right through to the back of the project. We're going to pull it back up here where the space is underneath the chains, yarn over, pull up a loop, just like a regular double crochet, yarn over, pull through two loops, yarn over, pull through two loops. So there's one of those mosaic double crochet stitches. We're going to do two of them. So again, yarn over, insert your hook through the stitch, coming out still in front of your project here, in front of those chains. And then complete the rest of the double crochet by yarning over, pulling through two loops, yarn over, and pull through the last two loops on your hook. So there we go. And then now we're going to work those 9 single crochet stitches, lining up in those 9 single crochet stitches from the previous round. And just make sure you're working your single crochet stitches in the top of the single crochet stitches here and not working in any of the chain stitches. So that's going to work all the way across here. And then you can kind of see that mosaic effect starting here. Now in some mosaic crochet projects you can work the mosaic double crochet stitches in either color, like both colors, but this one I just have it working in the accent color. So there we go, there's our 2 mosaic double crochet stitches. We worked our 9 single crochet stitches, so here we are again at the 2 skipped stitches. So I'm going to yarn over and I'm going to do my 2 mosaic double crochet stitches there. So there's one, there is the second one, and then I have my 1 single crochet, and then the 2 stitches again that I skipped. And then again, we'll work the 9 single crochet stitches. So that's how you're going to work all the way across. And then once we change colors again at the end of the round, or the end of the row, we'll be working the same way that we did with the last row of white, where we're doing the single crochet stitches and the chain stitches. So at the end of this row, you'll change back to the white, and then you'll start with 2 white stitches, and then you'll chain 3 to skip those 2 stitches, and then you'll do the 7 white stitches, chain 3 to skip these 2 stitches, 3 white single crochet. So this alternate that all the way across and back. And then you'll start with the teal color again, where you're working those mosaic double crochet stitches into each of the skipped ones. Okay, so that's how you're going to work this project the rest of the way to the top. And then when you finish here at the top, you're going to work 2 of these rows on the graph of single crochet, which is going to be 4 rows of single crochet in your crochet project. The first one will have the mosaic double crochet, and the next one will just be regular single crochet. So I hope you found this Mosaic Crochet video tutorial helpful. I hope you enjoy working on this project or applying this tutorial to other Mosaic Crochet patterns that you are working on. You can find this Mosaic Crochet pattern on loopsandlovecrochet.com for free. And I'd love it if you subscribe to this YouTube channel and follow Loops and Love Crochet on Facebook and on Instagram. Thanks for watching.